when I was a young kid, I considered myself very weak. Very weak. And as I started developing this indestructible mental toolbox, because what I realized was the things I was most afraid of, I cowered from. I had to start facing these things and becoming an expert at the things I feared the most.
Yeah.
I was afraid of my own mind. My mind would get off on these crazy places of woe is me. My internal conversation wasn't great.
Yeah.
So I had to start mastering it. Once I started mastering it, in the horrible place I was at, I considered myself the worst person ever alive. That was my conversation. But once I started mastering my own life, I started realizing, my God, man, this was in me.
Yeah.
I was a 300-pound fat guy. Now I'm 181 pounds, 190 pounds, whatever it was. I'm going to go through all these hell weeks. So I started realizing the capabilities of the human soul and the human mind. What do you want in your life? We have so much influence coming at us that we are so lost. We don't know what we want to do because we don't spend enough time with ourselves. You have to learn to shut off a phone, shut off a computer, shut off a TV. And it's okay to sit in a room by yourself in a chair and just think about you, where I want to be, where do I see myself tomorrow, the next year from that. It takes a lot of self-discipline to be able to do that nowadays because you want to be so attached to everything. You want to be so caught up with the world. The world's moving so fast that you're trying to keep up to the point where you lose yourself in the world. So you have to take that time to go to that dark place in your mind and discover who you are. As you're trying to fix yourself and dig yourself out of this deep hole that life, society, and you helped also. Those people who you saw down there in that hole who were there with you, who are your friends and people who you counted on, because you meet the people in the same situation that you're in life. Those people become your friends. And the second you try to get out of that situation and become better, those people are in that grave, in that dungeon, just yanking at your heels, man, saying, get the back. Oh, no, come on back here. A lot of times I'll be in a 200-mile run or something like that, and I'm all jacked up. Body's broken, mind's broken, spirit's broken. I start to say, what if I can pull this off? When I first walked into the Navy SEAL recruiter's office, he looked at me and said, there's only been 35 African Americans in 70 years make it through. You know what I said to myself? What if I can be the 36th? It's the what if I can pull off a fucking miracle. What if I can become someone that no one thinks I can be? And just me talking about that, I have the hair going up on my arms because it makes me just like, what if? I had to invent a guy that didn't exist. I had to invent a guy that can take any pain, any suffering, any kind of judgment, be called whatever the f in the world, and be able to stand in the room and say, go f yourself. I had to build this callous mind, and I built it through suffering. So when you have a messed up foundation, I started lying about everything. I wanted people to like me. I wanted to be accepted in some society of life. I was like, man, this isn't the right way. I messed up here, I messed up here, I messed up everywhere. And so I realized the worst thing that happened to me is I lost myself. I never had myself. I never found myself. I had no self-esteem. So I knew through working out and through learning, because it took a lot for me to learn also. I started finding self-esteem. Once I found that, that's when doors started opening up. I stopped caring about people, that what they thought, being judged. Wow, if I say this, if I started right now, are you gonna make fun of me? I stopped caring about that. And that's when my life started really changing for me, slowly but surely. I used all that 300-pound man, that fat guy, that dumb guy. And people say, why you say dumb? You have to be real with yourself. If you're not smart, you're fucking dumb, but you can become smart. You can become smart. It's not a permanent tag. You're dumb forever. You're fat forever. No, be raw. Don't find the cushy word. So what I did with all this stuff is I realized, okay, here it is. This is what you are, David. But now check this out. I sat back and I was like, my God, I'm able to visualize years beyond where I'm at right now. How are you going to feel if you can pull this off? When I got the idea to become a Navy SEAL, at 300 pounds, hate the water, can't run down the fucking block, horrible. And I put everything on that. My whole life was, I'm going to be a Navy SEAL, come hell or high water. Who does that? You got to commit to it. You got to put everything on yourself. You got to sit back and be able to imagine where you want to be and be like, that's the power. if I can pull this off, what kind of story have I just created? You have to first accept it before you can fix it. A lot of people walk around, oh man, I'm good. I'm good. No, you're not. You have to accept what you're not. You have to, and people don't want to do that. That's the only way you can fix it. You have to accept it first before you can go on the journey. A lot of folks never even start the journey, man. They never start the journey because they're living this fake life that who they want to be, they act like they are, but they're not because they haven't fixed all this stuff yet. You got to fix this first before we can start our journey in life. So that's why I have them make this list. You fix these problems, now your journey can begin because you no longer care about how people are judging you. When you care more about how someone's judging you, you're going to stay right there. There's no forward momentum. People. The more successful I became, I call them cockroaches, bottom feeders, people who were like, you know what, this guy worked his ass off. He did it, he worked his ass off, but I didn't. So let me see if I can just attach myself to him or her, whoever worked their ass off, whoever spent those hours, those years trying to become whoever they are. And then you have these people who are like, you know what? Oh, I'm your friend. So where can I fit into all of this? You know, where can I get on your team? There's a lot of those people once you become very successful and they come out of the woodworks and they have these great ideas and these great plans, but they ain't put any work into it. But you put the work into it. You're the commodity. So that's kind of where that comes from, you know, just from first-hand experience. And also, the more successful you become, the less time you have. Because to become very successful, it takes everything, especially if you want to stay at the top. Stay at the top, you have to continue to grind. You can't be like, oh, I made it, I'm here, I'm done. 24 hours in a day, and most of those hours are spent grinding in your business, grinding at whatever you do, and your family. There's not much room for anything else. It is about getting the out of your life, and your ego will destroy you. I had one. A lot of us have one. A lot of us alpha males have an ego. We're driven by ego, a lot of us. But what happens is we want people to like us, and that is the biggest downfall in business. To be a leader, not everybody's going to like you. To get from point A to point B very successfully, you're going to piss people off. And the one big thing I found out in life is when you're grinding hard, if you're hearing all these different voices from all these different people because you want to make everybody happy, you're going to implode your business. You're going to implode yourself. What I realized, once I calmed my mind down and sat back and looked at how jacked up this world is, once you realize that you are not alone, everybody that's talking to you about how jacked up you are, only thing they've done better than you is they've hidden their up world better than you have. That's all they've done. Sometimes life can really hijack your mind. When that happens to you, you're all up. Your goals, your ambitions, everything is out the window. In life, we all go through different things. Sometimes your girlfriend or boyfriend breaks up with you. Guess what? Get over it. They no longer want you. Maybe you failed a test in school. You worked your ass off. Guess what? You failed the test. Get over it. Move past it. Learn to not let life hijack your brain. At work, you've been working your ass off for that new promotion. You don't get it. Someone else does. Maybe they kiss better ass than you do. Guess what? Get over it. Life will hijack your mind if you let it. Don't allow all these things to make you a lesser person. You must own your mind. Don't let life own yours. Get after it. Stay hard. When you get to the point where you really don't care, you're dangerous. You become very, very dangerous.